for Banner 19, Keith?
I'm ready for Banner 19. Let's go.
Let's throw it up there.
Yeah,
They should have just hung 2 last night. Just hang the second
But
one.
would they show it? Would TNT show it? If they hung a second banner, would we get a chance to see that one?
You know what?
What the hell was that about?
The commercial break, by the time they're back, banner 18 can go up, then you start raising up the next one, and then by the time they're back from commercial, you probably time it out perfect.
Yeah, let's send this thing to the rafters. All the fans gather around at home. We're like, here we go. And then they're like, let's cut the break, and then let's get a full concert, and then the game. I didn't care for the opening last night.
I like Shabuzi, but I didn't
need to see Shabuzi.
I didn't need to miss the stupid banner raising. Like,
why not put that up there? Isn't that the whole point?
One would think
that's the whole point. It's banner night. Let's see the banner. Nah. Also, they didn't they didn't steam the banner either. You notice that?
I did.
Would you steam it?
Let's show Pags walk out there and wave to the crowd. Like, no. Can we maybe cut Pags?
Hey, everybody.
Maybe cut. Who was the other guy who came after Pags? Maybe cut all the assistant coaches and show me the banner.
I want to see the banner.
Banner, Michael.
I'm here for the banner.
Banner, Michael. That's what I care about.
They're like, nah.
But anyway, Celtics looked pretty good last night, I would say.
Well, my hope is if they can just get Porzingis back, they might be okay. If Porzingis comes back healthy, the Celtics might have a chance this year. No, they're insane. Like, they are a wagon. This is why yesterday in Tier Tuesday, they were in a tier by themselves.
They had their own tier. I feel
Do
good.
we need a tier between them and everybody else now?
Yeah.
I'm starting to think
it's like
so.
Celtics.
Oh, like a gap
Who can compete
tier.
with the Celtics? Nobody.
Just
Good
like
call.
nobody, like purgatory, and then everybody else. Because we had the Knicks in the second tier. Your Knicks. Jones's Knicks.
Might need to downgrade them.
They looked horrible. Now, they just got thrown together like yesterday.
Yeah.
So I will give them a little bit of an out, but that was a wire-to-wire beatdown. And if the Celtics shoot anywhere close to that, they're unbeatable. Like, there's just nothing you can do to stop them. Because I half joke, like, they're third best player is going to miss most of the season. They basically won a title last year without him. They might get him back. They might not. Who cares? But if they do, they become kind of unfair. And now they might not have the MVPs that Curry and Durant had when they were playing a few years ago with Golden State.
Tatum, based on last night, Tatum may have something to say about that.
No, he might. But I'm saying, like, when those guys got put together, you were like, as long as they're on the court, they're going to win it. And I'm saying, like, they might not have the standing in the league where, if you ranked all the players, which ESPN did, and I'm sure in 2017-18, Curry and Durant were both in the top 5, right? So you don't have, like, 2 top 5 players, but I have the same kind of feeling where they're going to win every series. Like, that's how I felt about Golden State for those 2 years. You're like, it's kind of unfair, but whatever. They rigged the system. They did it. Tip your hat to them. But they have to win it. And I feel like the Celtics are the same way, especially when they're just, like, moving the ball the way that they are. They're getting wide open threes. Every guy on the court can shoot threes. It's one of the reasons why when Brad took over, he put together the team I think that he wanted to coach. That Danny didn't give him. He's like, I'm getting rid of Smart. I'm getting rid of Brogdon. I'm getting rid of Time Lord. I'm getting rid of these guys.
You know what this team needs? What this team needs? I know what this team needs.
And he immediately did it.
And he went out
and look at them. They're nasty. And there's all the different things you can get into. Jayson Tatum's shot looks like it is. He fixed it. They just work so well together. They're a tough matchup for everybody. They play defense. Like, there's everything that you want about the team. I thought you never know how, like, a banner raising is going to go in any of the sports. You're like, is there going to be, like, a little bit of a lull or a little bit of, like, look at these rings, how cool. Nope.
I bet the under last night, so I expected some of that. Yeah. I even I raised the total and bet the under, and it was over in 5 minutes.
I felt really good about my Celtics -6, but then, me, I'm a silly goose with the parlays, and I just started adding a bunch of crap that didn't hit. I had Derek White threes. That hit. It was like 3 threes. He hit that in 30 seconds.
I had Jalen 3 threes.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Jalen didn't get to 25.
That's what
he gets stuck on 23.
He sat a lot. I needed an 8th Tatum rebound as well. He was only halfway there.
Well, you know what happened is
the guy sat.
Yes.
Too dominant.
They were up by too much.
Peaked too soon.
You're going to have to start betting unders on the Celtics individual points because they're going to be up by so much. You're going to sit these guys. Unless you're betting over on Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser,
Pritchard overs,
Tillman,
Hauser overs, Cornette overs.
Oh yeah, these are your overs.
That's where you want to operate. Well, we'll figure out the betting.
But what a wagon
algorithm! No. Dominant showing, 132 to 109. Jayson Tatum was awesome last night. Simple question for you all day long here on Jones and Keefe: is anybody beating this team? And is this the Jayson Tatum we're going to get all year? You can jump in, 617-779-7937. That's your phone number. You can text the show, 37937. You can interact at Twitter and Instagram, at Jones and Keefe. Watch along and chat on Twitch, twitch.tv/BostonWEEI. Lively chat going there, as always. and on YouTube. You can watch along there. Just subscribe at WEEI. I do want to let you know, it's not going to be all Celtics all day. Gerard Mayo may not survive year one, according to some.
Hot seat.
So we'll get to that later on in the program. Mayo is scheduled to talk at 11:20.
Oh, boy.
Which means we're going to hear his reaction to any questions about his job security.
What's he going to walk back today?
Great.
Is there anything to walk back?
You know it's something.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it is, but you know it's something.
Yep.
We'll hopefully hear his answer to Bill Belichick calling him out earlier in the week. So we'll do all that later on in the show. It's also a Would You Rather Wednesday today here on Jones and Keefe. But a lot of Celtics talk.
Yeah.
Robert Horry, 7-time NBA champ.
7 rings.
Young Terp back there was flabbergasted.
7 rings. I don't know if any of them are as gaudy as the ring that was given out last night.
I
it
would
can't
say
be.
not.
It was a different time
I
when
would say
Ori
not.
won his rings. But no, Ori at least won his rings in the time. Those Rocket rings, I'm guessing, were pretty modest. Maybe even the Laker rings.
Rocket rings sounds like
Rocket rings.
sounds like an app.
I bet the Rocket rings are just look like a wedding band. You know, like back in the 90s, they're like, hey, congrats, you won. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then now I bet his Spurs rings are pretty like diamond.
Those
and,
are pretty
yeah,
gaudy.
I would think so.
Yeah. Well, I heard Wiggy was a little ring shy last night with Porzingis.
Yeah, that's the thing is like Wiggy got in on the ground floor, so you got that first Patriots one, which is awesome. But compared to the other ones, it's like I think you could fit Wiggy's Super Bowl ring inside the
It's true.
Celtics rings.
Who's paying for those rings? That's what I want to know. Like that is that like for the future owner of the
Throw that in
Celtics?
the
They're like,
yeah.
oh, by the way, we kind of went crazy with the because
Definitely.
I mean, it's not Wick. Who paid for those rings? I don't know, but it wasn't Wick.
No, that's probably like 12 easy payments of like 12 million. You know what I mean?
It was either Dada or it's the future owner of the Celtics. Wick didn't pay. You think Wick ponied up for those?
Those things are insane. I do have a question about those. Like, at what point do we change it to something else? Like, I know there's like a significance to it. Like, oh, you want
like
a ring? Well, not if it's something that you can't even wear. First of all, who's really wearing rings?
I ordered myself a fantasy football championship ring last year. It's not very. Yeah.
Did you bring it in today?
Today?
Yeah.
No, I should.
Well, we're talking rings. You should have brought it in.
I bring it in. I should. Me and I'll show them off next time.
Do you wear it like during the draft?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. During our auction. Really, anytime we do anything fantasy
What do you
football
got in there?
related.
Rubies?
Do
Emeralds?
other guys get rings when they win, or did you just
No,
order your own and do it?
I started a trend. Others have since
now
started.
gonna order rings.
Now we're all ordering rings. But yeah, mine. It's not very ostentatious. It's not like this where I get. It's subtle.
Yeah, but I just like I think at one point you were probably supposed to wear them. Now it's like you can't wear that.
No, it
Imagine
comes
if you were walking around the street with like $1 million on your finger.
comes in multiple pieces.
I'd be insulted if somebody didn't mug me for it. Like, I'm walking down the street with like $2 million on my finger. Hey, Robert, I'm a large coffee. Like, bam! Just like punch in the back of the head. You're done.
Hello, Robert.
Yeah. Hello.
Is this catching the light for you there?
That thing would be
Robert.
off my finger and sold immediately. Yeah, like they're so over the top. That's even what our guy Joe Mazzulla said.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to wear this.
No.
Yeah, I can't wear this.
No.
This is nuts.
We did get some submissions for a potential Joe Mazzulla game based on his post game last night.
Yeah. Right.
So we'll have our ear to the ground on that.
It's only been
He's a wild. I mean, he's a legitimate wild man.
Yeah.
No one has changed their image in a calendar year or a quicker amount of turnaround time than that man.
I couldn't stand him.
No,
Like, I'll be
me
honest.
either.
I couldn't stand him when he would fight with Gary Washburn about how many threes they took, and he's like, "Well, that's how many shots are those, Gary?" And you're like, "What?" And he's like giving you these nonsense stats at the post-game press conference, and then now just talks like a lunatic. But they win every game, and the team's so good. I'm like, I love this guy.
I know Wiggy was doing this morning. We just had the debate.
Oh, Wiggy's got the best coach in the league.
Okay, he's not the best. It is Spoelstra, and Wiggy's point is Spoelstra's a little overrated. Probably true.
But he's pretty great.
He's overrated. Fine, he probably is overrated.
People might not want to hear this, Jones.
He hasn't won anything without LeBron, but he is still the best coach in the league.
I think Ime Udoka's a really good coach.
Okay,
I think he's a real good coach.
I'm going to tell you, if you want to tell me Mazzulla's the second best coach in the league, I'll start listening there.
All right.
I'll start listening there.
I think he's no doubt about it top 5, and I would probably put him 3. Because other guys...
So who's 2?
Udoka.
Oh, that is who's 2.
I think Udoka's really good.
Not Popovich, not Carlisle, not Kerr.
I think Udoka...
Bad night for Kerr last night, by the way.
Yeah, so Kerr, Kerr, the shine's off of Kerr. Popovich, the shine's way off of Popovich. Like, it can't possibly be Popovich. When was the last time they, like, made the playoffs or did anything of relevance? That was a all Tim Duncan thing, and maybe he was good at a time, but that ship has sailed. Once you're a good coach, doesn't mean you're always a good coach for the rest of your life.
He's on probation. He's got to prove it again. He's where Bill would be if Bill came back.
And you know what?
Prove it.
You have a top 10 player in the NBA now. I'm talking about Popovich, not you. I'm talking about Popovich.
Wembanyama.
He's got to figure it out. He's
Pops on the mic.
Stop all the booing. Let these guys play. It's got no class. It's not who we are.
So that immediately eliminates him from this conversation. If you lecture the crowd about booing Kawhi Leonard, who wouldn't play for your franchise, if the Spurs fans can't boo Kawhi Leonard, then no fan base can boo any player.
Knock off the booing.
Knock off the booing?
Yeah.
Like, dude, make the playoffs without Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
how's that sound?
Start booing you.
So, no, he's off. I do like Rick Carlisle, but Mazzulla just beat him head-to-head.
Mm-hmm.
Malone won the title with the Nuggets 2 years ago, but then, I don't know, didn't get back to the next year. He's probably in the mix, but no, Mazzulla's up there.
If you want to tell me Mazzulla is second, I'm not going to argue.
Yeah.
I guess I'd have to go through and really sit down and do my personal list, but Mazzulla too sounds about right.
That was like in that ESPN survey. Wasn't he like second or third best offense, second or third best defense, second or third best motivator,
players,
not top five?
Correct. Makes no sense.
What?
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, real quick, Keefe, and we'll open it up on the phones.
Yep.
Lines are open for you at 617-779-7937. Is anybody beating the Celtics? I think we can handle this one pretty quickly. Is anybody beating this team this year? Forget shooting like that, because I think that's self-evident. If they shoot like that, no one's going to beat them. The one thing I will say, Terp came in on cloud nine this morning, but the banner raising, the Nuggets beat the Lakers last year. 2 years prior, the Warriors smoked the Lakers. Apparently, everybody beats the Lakers on opening night.
Nice. Not the T-Wolves.
I was going to say besides the Wolves last night. The 2 years ago, the Lakers got smoked on opening night by the Warriors. So, it is banner night. It's an electric building. You expect the team to play well. You expect them to look good in that scenario. I expected them to defend their championship. That's way better than I expected them to look. They looked borderline unbeatable. So, is anybody beating them? I don't know how you make a case for that. The case would be the Celtics are complacent, or Tatum or Jaylen Brown.
You mean in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to lose regular season games. And what's funny is these great teams, you can look back in the history of it, even last year's Celtics team, but they weren't a historic regular season team. But even the 86 Celtics, they would be they would lose to the Pistons. Not the 86 Celtics, that was a good team, but this version of you know what I mean? So 2-3 months from now, back-to-back, things aren't going well. It's you're playing the Blazers and you lose. And you're wait, what?
Yeah.
So, there's one-off weird games like that. But in a 7-game series, I can't see it. And even I'll give you, people are well, if everybody stays healthy. Not even. Not even. If one or two of their guys are out, that might be how deep they are. Now, if it's Tatum and Brown, different story.
Correct.
But if it's Porzingis and another bench guy
Porzingis doesn't play a minute this year, they win.
They win the title.
They win the whole thing.
And it's overkill with him.
Yeah.
With him, it's you should just sweep.
He helps. I'd rather have him than not.
Yeah, obviously.
But if he never plays a minute again for this team, they win again, or at least they should. Is how I feel.
Yeah,
about
I don't really see it. I mean, I guess, especially because now that this group has been together for a full year, and some of the stars even longer, and then if you even include when those guys did play with Horford, and then he was gone, then he was back. There's a lot of continuity there, where a lot of other teams are kind of chasing it. And you saw Lillard and Giannis last year, didn't work. Paul George and Embiid this year might not work. They're both hurt already. Bridges and Towns and Brunson might not work.
Didn't look good last night.
Anytime you throw, and that's what the Celtics also did. Now, it worked for them last year. They threw some pieces together. But prior to that, maybe Kyrie, maybe Kemba, maybe Brogdon, all those different combinations didn't work. So the Celtics found one that worked. That's why I would look at maybe Denver, just because I think Jokic is still individually the best player. If you get a really good Jamal Murray.
And by the way, when they've played Denver straight up, Denver's had their number.
Yeah.
And so, those are regular season games. Who knows in a 7-game series?
Russell Westbrook's on the team. So it's almost like
something's gotta give.
You added something that might drag you down.
That's true.
No, that's just me looking for a team that might be able to compete with them.
The answer is they become complacent, or they're not as hungry, or it's as hard to defend a championship title in the NBA, and most teams, at least in the recent NBA, most teams don't defend. Something like that. It's not another team where you point at them and go, that's the team.
Mm-hmm.
So Tatum, to me, last night was a great sign. And I don't know that this is an FU tour and a message directly to Steve Kerr. Last night felt that way. Is Tatum going to do that all year? I don't know yet. But that's a different Tatum than we saw in the playoffs. And I just want people to pick. Do you need Tatum? nailing threes like last night? Do you need Tatum being a dominant scorer, or do you not need that? Like, which one do you want? Because people were really celebrating it last night. They're oh, I thought Tatum's shot was broken. Oh, this and that.
Well, it kind of was. I mean, there's percentages to show.
Last night, to me, was proof at how broken his shot was. And the Celtics are so good, they won in spite of it. Jaylen Brown was so good in the conference finals and NBA finals, they won in spite of it. But don't tell me you don't need Jayson Tatum to level up, or there's not another level to get to, because I think last night illustrated that. And that was awesome. I want that Tatum. Yeah. I want that Tatum all year long.
Oh, yeah.
And if they get that, they're definitely not getting beat.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if that's the Jayson Tatum you're going to get every night, but last night I hope he plays like that. And I don't mean the 8 threes.
No, I get you.
But I mean aggressive, and on top of that, still distributing the basketball. But the shot isn't broken like that. That's the Tatum I want. It was broken in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, no, this is definitely what I would want. I mean, and this is what I think has sort of separated him from that very, very top 2-3 players in the league, that MVP guy. Like, he's first team All-NBA. So, like, he's already way up there, and he's highly regarded. But, you know, people do look at him, and they're like, well, it's still not Durant in his prime. It's still not, LeBron in his prime. It's still not there. It's like one notch below that. But if you're hitting this kind of percentage from three in particular, but if you're just that efficient of a scorer, he took 18 shots and had 37 points, and he didn't even really get to the free throw line.
How many threes? He totook 11, right?
It was 8 of 11. Mm-hmm. The team took 61 threes.
Okay.
It's like bombs away. I know, we'll get to that.
We are going to get to their shot selection and the sustainability of it coming up.
It's wild. But no, I like Jayson Tatum as the team's leading scorer. It's not going to be like this every single night. I think they also recognize when other guys have it going.
But you know what I liked? Because I got chirped last night. I said, let's pick. Like, do you want Tatum the dominant scorer, or do you want Tatum the distributor? And people were like, well, he was both last night. He had 10 assists.
He did 10 assists.
Okay. He also came out firing last night. And that's not – Tatum eases into a lot of these games. You guys all know it. If you watch the Celtics, Tatum eases into a lot of these games. Last night, he hit their first three.
Yep.
Which some of us know if you bet someone else to hit the first field goal in the game. Tatum came out and hit the first three, which he rarely does. He had a bunch of threes early in that. He came out hunting, and the assist will come. He's a good distributor.
Yeah.
He is good at passing out of double teams and finding the open guys. That's an area he's developed a lot in the last couple of years. But he came out hunting last night, and I would like to see more of that aggression out of Tatum. When I say aggression, that's what I mean.
I think he should, and I also think he can do that, because I think other times when star players feel like they need to get other players involved, like Jimmy Butler is kind of famous for that, where he'll not score in the first quarter.
Take a quarter and distribute,
But that's because his teammates are scrubbier, and like I think they need it. Like if they don't get their points right away, they're in trouble. I look at the Celtics, and you say, if Jaylen Brown or Derek White or Drew Holiday don't score right away, they're not out for the game. Those guys they're all capable of a monster second quarter. Mm-hmm. So like not all star players can maybe approach it the same way, but Tatum's playing out there with multiple all-stars, multiple Olympians, multiple all-NBA guys. Like he can get his early if he wants, and it's not a detriment to the team.
No, it's not. So is that the Tatum they're going to get all year? Is that the Tatum you want all year? Aggressive, looking for his shot early? Or do you not care about that? Is it all about rebounds and assists and defense like I heard in the postseason last year? Is anybody beating this team? And if so, how do they beat this team? Already text at 37937. Guys, over 58.5 wins was the lock of the century. Hope you took it.
Seriously.
I didn't, but that was shockingly low.
58.5?
Yeah.
I mean, you know me, one game in, I'm thinking 74 already. So
go for
82.
The record. Yeah,
no, Nick, let's not lose our minds here.
82-0. Yeah, why stop 96-0 is what I think you mean.
Oh, yeah.
Not 96-0.
All the way.
Yeah, all the way through is what I would want.